All right, y'all. So we're going to be talking about investment ideas. So we'll be going live in about 5 more minutes. Oh shoot! Appreciate the follow. Undone Av AVS. It's pretty cool. All right, let's go and get this thing started.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on, man?
Okay. Ain't too much.
All right, man. Go ahead, introduce yourself to the people, man.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Adrian Gardner. Just here today to talk to you guys about investing and financing and the stock market. We always want to make sure that we have more than one source of income, and stock market can be a good way to invest and definitely have you some funds available. Obviously with investing, we want to try to go long term, right? If we're trying to build wealth and things of that nature. So you really don't want to treat your account, your portfolio, basically as a bank account. So the goal should be to continue to build on your account. I wouldn't suggest going in your account, unless it's a extreme emergency.
Yeah, that's good. Well, if we want to go ahead and get into the basics, what is the stock market and like what is a portfolio? Let's say I have no idea what that is or how to get into it. Like, what are some basic terms or things that people should know?
All right, so looking at the stock market, we basically, if you had to break it down simplistically, the stock market is basically an exchange, right? And
Right.
you can invest in all these different companies all over the world, foreign, international, depending on which exchange you're using, because there's a couple different exchanges. I would say, just some terms that you want to familiarize yourself with with investing in the stock market. Some of the common terms you'll hear is a bull market or a bear market. If someone tells you that something is bullish, that means that it's profitable, it's making money, it's on the up and up. If it's bearish, then that means that basically it's losing money. Um, I would always suggest, especially if you're going to start investing, you definitely want to research and do your due diligence when it comes to investing in the stock market. You can make a lot of money with the stock market, and you also can lose a lot of money. So you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. I would recommend like Robinhood or app like that, something just to start with, where you can kind of get your feet wet, um, and just start learning how to invest. Um, and my rule of thumb for anybody in the stock market that is a beginner is you just want to look at the things, in your house. Look at the things like what kind of TVs do you buy? If you like to play video games, think like that. You want to invest in things that you like, and that's the easiest way to get started. For example, I know Discord is a gaming like a gaming platform, a gaming app for gamers to get together and stuff like that, and um, so if you own a PlayStation 5, you can invest in Sony. If you own an Xbox One or any of their consoles, then you can invest in Microsoft. You want to just try to look around and find things that you like and invest in those, and that normally is a good rule of thumb. And once you get more comfortable and you start researching more, then you can kind of branch out and do other things.
Right. And I just want to give like a quick definition of the stock market for people to know. So it says here on nerdwallet.com, when you need groceries, you go to the supermarket. But when you need to buy stocks or mutual funds, you'll usually buy them online through the stock market, which anyone can access with a brokerage account. robo advisor or employee retirement plan, like a 401k. You can actually invest with your 401k. Now, the term stock market actually refers to one of the major stock market indexes, such as the Dow Jones, and you'll see that, at the bottom of the screen if you watch the news, or the SP 500. This index just includes a section of the stock market because you can't track every single stock, and it goes up and down. The market fluctuates, so you know and what Adrian was just talking about, you can invest in things that you like. Those businesses, when they are publicly traded, they call that an IPO, which is an initial public offering. All right. So investors, a company allows investors to actually buy those shares and buy those stocks. So that's what the stock market is. You can buy those shares. So, Adrian, if you go to my stream here, what I'm going to do is we were talking about AMD, right? The computer card, graphics card, since a lot of
Hmm.
gamers are, on PCs. If we look at AMD stock, they're publicly traded, and what this is right here, this number right here, if you see here, how much it costs to buy one, whole share of that. That'd be $94.58. You'll see here it's in the red. All right, so that means it went down since the closing of Friday. The stock market runs between Monday and Friday. And Adrian, if you correct me, does it close at 4 or 5?
It closes at 5. I want to
Closes
say, but
at
it's Eastern time, so
It's a Eastern time.
um,
Okay. Okay. So it's 5 Eastern Standard Time. So, it closed at this number. And, we'll go into, we're not going to go into advancement, but we're just trying to show you of how it works. So in the last 52 weeks, you'll see here, it was $36. So 52 weeks ago, you could have bought AMD stock for this purchase price of $36.75. Now, one thing, I'll be a little bit more realistic, guys. This is the investment that you want to take your time with it. It depends on if you want to be a fast risk, high reward. You can buy and sell whenever, but what I would suggest, starting off, is to do slow and steady. That way you can learn of how the stock market goes. So 52 weeks ago, I mean, $36 is what, maybe 3 or 4 number ones at McDonald's. You can basically purchase that, and you would have made a profit from $36.75 to $94.58, even though it's going down. So that's
I
how the
mean, on
stock
top
market
of
works.
that, though,
Yeah.
and on top of that too, if you like to eat at McDonald's, guess what? You can invest in McDonald's. You can buy shares, and like I said, whatever it is that you know,
Exactly. So
you know.
speaking of that, let's say you love McDonald's. Let's go here. There you go. McDonald's Corporation is $215.87. All right. So if we look here, 52 weeks ago it was 124. And I think one of the big reasons why it went up, and Adrian, I don't want to speculate, but due to COVID, a lot more people are, door dashing, a lot of people are going more fast food, things of that nature. So
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how that's the basics of the stock market. Now, and Adrian, if you want to go a little bit on the advanced metrics and stuff like that, I know we got the 52 weeks low and the 52 weeks high. What are some other basics that you want to tell people about the stock market?
I think the biggest thing with the stock market, y'all. We've kind of said it. You want to do your research. You want to do your research on companies before you invest in them. Look at like earnings reports and things like that. You want to make sure that that company is profitable. Um, a couple of things that I would suggest. Like I said, for beginners, I started with Robinhood. You could technically start with any trading platform out there. I started with Robinhood, and then I think the best thing you want to do is you want to find you a good app. And there's a lot of different apps out there that you can actually use to track the companies that you're investing in. So a good colleague of mine at work put me on Yahoo Finance, and so that's the one that I would suggest for anybody because on Yahoo Finance it gives you a lot of information. just on that company. And then if the companies you're invested in, you can put it on your watch list. And then if anything happens with that company, let's say earnings reports coming out. Let's say if they're on the verge of, we'll use Sony. So we'll use the prime example. So let's say
Okay.
that you're brought into Sony, and we'll rewind a couple years ago. Oh, they're coming out with a new PlayStation 5 console. It's set to release at the end of holiday season 2020, right?
Hmm.
So off of that news that they drop, guess what? People might start buying into their stock. The supply goes up, price drives up, things like that, right? So
Hmm.
that might be a good place to buy in, or you can say, well, you know what? I'm gonna wait for it to dip a little bit, and then I'll buy in the dip. You know, so
Hmm.
but you want to keep eyes on you want to keep eyes on the company that you're investing in. Any kind of news, because with the stock market, it is very volatile. The last 4 years we've had Trump in office, and if you really watch the market, a single tweet can drive the stock market up or down.
Hmm.
When we had our November elections, and Joseph Biden was declared the winner,
Right.
the stock markets have started to rebound really good. So right now, you might as well say that we're in a bull market. Everything is at this point right now. A lot of places are not a lot of places. A lot of companies are reporting good earnings and making money. Um, so definitely want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence and doing your research on these companies, and make sure that you have some good apps and tools and stuff to kind of help you keep track of these companies, and catch any news coming out.
Okay.
Um,
I want to touch a little bit on Robinhood since I'm here. What's the sign in process? Like, how does that work? You just download the app, of course. What do you go from there?
you download the app. It's going to get some basic information from you. Basically, it wants to know. They're going to want to know if you're a beginner, if you're an expert. How much. As far as from a liquidity standpoint. So how much cash they're going to know how much cash you have on you, kind of like your net worth. And then they'll ask you what your goals are. So are you a long term investor? Are you going to buy and are you going to invest long term? And when you're buying shares and stuff, are you a day trader? So day traders, they normally they might buy 100 shares of stock, reap some profits off of it, and then sell it. You know, so
Hmm.
there's different styles and stuff too. Not different styles, but there's different ways to invest when it comes to the stock market.
Okay. Okay. So you got Robinhood there. What I personally use is
Yeah.
E Trade. So E Trade is it's a little bit more robust, I would say, for trading and stuff. I'm not gonna go in because I don't want you guys looking at my portfolio, but I can tell you guys what I'm investing in, right? So, you know, what if you're a beginner, Adrian, and then we walking people through it. What are some you do things that you're interested in, but maybe it's not as bullish as you want it to be. What are some key stocks that you're looking at right now that can help? You see that's growing.
All right, so guys, if you're new and maybe you're not really that savvy with it, and maybe you don't really have idea of what you want to invest in. So the first thing that I would suggest anybody to do that is looking, sorry about that.
No, you
Um,
good.
But what I would suggest is you would do is just go to the S&P 500. Okay,
Okay.
the S&P 500 has basically is what it is. S&P, so 500 is 500 of the top Fortune 500 companies.
Hmm.
Tesla actually just joined the S&P 500. There are qualifications and things that you have to do as far as from a company standpoint that qualifies you to be on that S&P 500.
Okay,
Um,
so the S and
I'm
P 500 are 500 businesses that are doing really well. Is that
Yeah, and
the base?
it's like a collection of all those businesses. So,
Okay.
um, so you can go on there and look. Like I said, and it also comes down to research and stuff too. So, one of the things, Cleve, I think me and you were talking about that I'm starting to look into now. Now that we have Biden and Harris in office, I'm starting to look toward renewable energy, because we know, one of the things that they really want to tackle is climate change, right? So we know that they are going to start maybe looking at some different forms of energy. So, solar power. Um, more stuff on the electrical side. People are still out here developing stronger batteries and things like that to power electric cars and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
you can never go wrong with some of that stuff.
Yeah, and then also I'm on here. I actually use this personally. It's called Market Watch, and that's a good way to actually get into it and learn. And you also can use Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance is really good. It lets you know if companies do dividend shares or earnings. What basically means is your money is making money. So at the determined amount of the month or whenever they choose, you actually get a percentage of that earnings that they got, and you actually get a little bit more money in your pocket, depending on how much money you put into the stock. So if you have two stocks, you're going to get more than if you just had one. Am I correct there, Adrian? I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Perfect. So if we look here, and what Adrian was talking about is the S&P 500. And so we look here, these are the movers, and it's totally correct. Tesla has moved up, 7.8. So it's reached up into that. So I want to give you guys a real world example. So a couple of months ago, a company would do what they call a stock split. So a stock split is basically, I'm just, using the layman's term, but they're making so much money in the market where they have to split for them to get more investors. Is that correct? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that would be like. Yeah, That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Just kind of basically all they're doing is they're basically when they do a split, they're creating more shares.
Hmm.
And then when they normally do that split too, you can actually buy it at a lower price point. So that does give people, that maybe wouldn't have the funds to invest in that stock. It gives them maybe a way to break in, and actually own some shares of that company. So
Right. So, for example, Apple and Tesla, exactly what Adrian was just saying. Due to Joe Biden and Kamala winning, we're looking more towards the renewable energy, and also I'll talk about it a little bit later towards cannabis, since we're gonna probably be decriminalizing marijuana for recreational use soon. So, Tesla was, I don't know what, $900. It was a thousand, and so they decided to
yeah,
do a,
Tesla's yeah.
yeah, it was crazy a couple months ago. So what they did is they did a 4-1 split. So I mean they took that number and divided it by 4. All right. Okay. Apple did the same thing. Did they do an 8 to
So
1 split?
Apple did a 4-1 split. Tesla did a 5-1 split.
5 to 1 split. So
Yeah.
so if we look at those companies now, let's say for example, let's look at the big one. So let's look at Tesla. Let's look at that. So it was about 6 months ago. I think this is when the stock split happened. It was about 400, around this range. You
I
know,
want to say what June or July is when that happened. Yeah.
right. So,
Hmm.
and if you look here, the 52-week low, it was $70 freaking. That's
Oh my
that's
God.
oh my goodness. So I actually got in and bought a couple of shares at $400. So if you look here, it's actually at 880. So it's one of these bull market that is just going crazy. And you'll see that you'll see when you start buying stock, you'll see the profit going in. Now a good one that I would suggest, and I think me and Adrian have the same thing, is to buy Apple stock. I don't think Apple is going anywhere. Apple is, by 2024, they're starting to do their own Apple car, electric car. They make iPhones all the time. This is a good stock to just go ahead and start and look at. $132, that's two PlayStation 5 games. You know? That's two PlayStation 5 controllers. All right? Like, you can take this, save up your money for 2 to 3 months, and buy this. You can easily go to Robinhood. Adrian told you that process. I'm here to show you. Just put your first name, last name, password. They're going to ask you a couple things, and they give you free stock. That's a good way to go. And you just go to Robinhood or you go to E-Trade. You type in Apple, and you drop in $132.05, and you let it wait, because look at this. 52 weeks ago, it was $53. Now it's 138, and I think it's going to rise. Would you agree on that, Adrian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So.
that's that's the biggest thing about, especially too, when you started getting to investing. Um, especially companies like Apple, Tesla, things like that. Like you should, depending on what your strategy is. Like mine is long term, so I'm looking for the long term. So I brought an Apple with the split, right?
Right.
And I think when it split, because it was $500 a share. And then when it split, the price dropped to about, I think, around about 125, 123.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, and for a while there, it actually started dropping lower than that, after they get the split. But see, if you're investing long term, those those dips are not going to bother you. In fact, you want to buy more,
Mm-hmm.
because a company like Apple is going to be here. They make cell phones. They make laptops.
Watches. I mean,
They
it's
make
everything.
watches. I mean, just about everything. Every time you see, if you own Apple stock and you see somebody using an iPhone, you should thank them, because they're helping you make money. Or
Exactly.
you're walking in the Verizon store and somebody's buying that new iPhone 12. Hey
Mhm.
sir, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing. You know,
Every time I see
don't
a Tesla, I get so happy. I don't want a Tesla,
you know.
but I want to make money off Tesla because every time I
hmm
see one, I know that the market is going up.
hmm
So
Hey
this is a
Cleveland, here in a little bit. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go
no
ahead.
good.
I'm sorry. Now I was gonna say, here in a little while too, Tesla's gonna drop their truck out, and when they drop that Tesla truck, your stock's gonna continue to skyrocket.
Mm-hmm.
So just putting that out there, Tesla, I think they have a truck that's coming out. I want to, well, maybe if COVID might have slowed down the manufacturing, but I want to say it's sometime this year. Let me see. Let me look that up. That's why though, guys. That's why we're saying you want to make sure that you're doing research, and you're keeping up to date with what companies that you're invested in. You want to know what they have going on, because that's going to affect your money, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you've got something coming down the pipeline like that, well, man, let me try to keep buying this and have some, and um, keep upgrading my position in Tesla. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see, when does the Tesla? I'm trying to look up, when does the truck come out? When does the Tesla truck come out? There it is. Okay, the Cybertruck has a starting price of 39.9 single motor. Okay, so actually that is expected to begin production in late 2022. All right, so the single motor cycle will have a range of 250 miles per charge. So here's another thing too, guys. Like, when you really start getting into investing, right? So Tesla, right? So, Tesla's a big company. They make electronic cars, but guess what, y'all? Tesla doesn't make every single part for those for their vehicles. So
Mm.
where do they get the batteries from? Where do they get the sensors from? So you have to start looking up stuff like that, because, you know, as big as Tesla is, there's companies that they use to get parts and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So like, as you start digging deeper and stuff like that, like, I'll give you an example. I'm watching two different companies.
Okay.
Um,
I'll type them
let's
in.
see. Here's a growth company. I'm trying to remember the names of them. I'm looking them up right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a one company. It's Velodyne Lidar is what it's called. Its stock symbol is VLDR. They go at about $24 a share, but they actually, let's see here, is an emerging growth company which engages in the provisional, real time, three-dimensional vision for autonomous systems. Um, let's see. It also develops and produces LiDAR sensors for use in industrial 3D mapping drone auto applications. All right. So this is one of the companies that actually supplies parts to Tesla. All right.
Mm.
Right now they're going for $24.10 a share. So, if you do find something you like, and we can we'll use gaming again, and we'll go to PlayStation.
Okay, let's go back
Who
to
does
Sony.
the C who makes the CPU processor in the PlayStation? Who
Mm.
who who manufactures a solid state disk drive that's in that PlayStation?
Mm.
You know, where who does the graphics chip? Who does the memory, the RAM, all that stuff? You know, yes, play, but they get their chips from somebody. They get that technology from other companies. And so when you kind of start following, um, when you start following the trail, or you start following that console to see who all is invested in its makeup, then
Mm-hmm.
that can also lead uh, to you investing in other companies. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so just keep stuff like that in mind too. That's actually, y'all, just to put this out to the company that I was just telling y'all about. So one of the reasons that your consoles were delayed is because some of these same companies that do the stuff for the for the smart cars and things like that, and drones and stuff like that, some of that hardware also goes into these consoles. And so right now, um, these companies are sending their stuff to places like Tesla and things like that because it takes priority over a gaming console. So that's part of the reason why too, PlayStation hasn't been able to put out enough consoles, because some of the
Mm.
parts they need are basically used for more important things right now. With
Right.
everything going on, other companies are taking priority of getting those parts and supplies. So
That's perfect. And
you know,
Adrian, I'm gonna cut you off right here. You put the nail right on the head. Nvidia. Look at Nvidia,
yep.
guys. I mean, it closed, previous close, it lost $2.69. That's how you see the profit margin there. We look at the 52-week low, $180. So let's do some math, because we don't want to lose you guys. The biggest thing about the stock market is making money. So let's just do this. All right. So let's see the profit. So it's 589.07, right? Minus 180.68, right? So if you would have got it at 180, you already made $408 off one stock. Of one stock, right? So let's say you time that times 3 stocks. You would have made $1,225 off 3 stocks and counting. This is what we're talking about, guys, about being long term, by being in there. So Adrian has shares in Apple, and I have shares in Apple. So right now it's 131. So let's say what's the how much is it right now, Adrian? 130 something.
You talking about for Apple?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hold on. Apple right now is going for $131 a share right now.
131. Okay. So let's
Hmm.
say Apple in the next 10 years, it just explodes. Let's say it gets up there. It's not even getting too big. You see Nvidia's at 589. Let's say Apple goes up to 800 and we got it at 131. Let's say you go and jump in on it at 131. Okay. So let's say an even number, 800. And you buy it at 131. Of one stock, that's $669. Let's say that you buy that stock every month. You treat it like a bill. And I guess I'll go and talk about it now, Adrian. We call that dollar cost averaging. So no matter what, since you know it is a solid company, it's not going to be bullish every time. You might be losing sometimes. Sometimes you'll buy it at 141. You might buy it at 155. But every single month you treat that like a bill that just fluctuates. I'm gonna buy it every month. And you buy 12, you buy 12, you buy 12. And you buy it every month. 12, 12, 12, 12. And let's say that you get up to like 50 shares. 10 years, that's reasonable. You get 50 shares. You times that by 50. That's $33,000. That's 33,000 freaking dollars off one stock. And this is, guys, what we're talking about, investing, doing it long term. Now, if you want to get into options, that's a whole nother subject we'll do now. We're just talking about this regular one, this regular stocks. This is what we're talking about. $33. $33,000. That's someone's salary. You just made it by just buying the stock, going to sleep every day, playing the game, doing whatever. So this is what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about there. So
Yep.
okay, so another thing, um, some other stocks to look for. So I talked about it a little bit earlier. Adrian, what are some like cannabis stocks that are looking good right now?
Um. So with cannabis stocks, let's see what we got. So the ones that I'm watching right now, I'm watching Aurora Cannabis,
Okay, what's the
and I
acronym?
think right now they're trading at $10 a share.
Okay.
Their stock acronym is ACB Cleveland. If you're trying to pull it up,
Okay.
right? So right now they're trading at about $10 a share.
Hmm.
Now if
I
you look
actually
at their
brought
52
into
week,
the yeah.
yeah, so if you look at their 52-week high and low, their 52-week high is $27 a
Hmm.
share. Their 52-week low is $3.71. So, guys, part of this too is you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence on these companies. Okay,
Yes.
if a company's stock starts dipping, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going out of business or things are going wrong. Like that's the market sometimes, right? So,
Hmm.
if you're a long term investor, you can't be scared or deterred when you see stuff like that.
Whew, yeah.
So now, if I was investing in Aurora Cannabis and I had 20 share, whatever the case may be, and I see the price go down to $3.71 a share without even blinking, without even thinking about it, I'm buying as much as I can at that price point,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So basically, you call that buying in a dip. So when a stock dips like that, if you're a long term investor, you're not bothered by it. In fact, you want to buy more while you can get it at a lesser price, right?
Hmm.
And then your return on investment is going to be when that stock starts rebounding and making money. That's where you're going to get your return on that investment from. Um, so, like I said, with the stock market, don't become deterred. So that's Aurora Cannabis. And the other one that I actually brought into it. The
Hmm.
name of it is I'm looking for it right now. There we go. It's Kronos Group. And they're right now they're selling at $9 a share. And the acronym for that one, Cleveland, is CRON. But yeah, let's see. I'm trying to get now, Kronos, this is Canadian cannabis, so this is a Canadian cannabis company.
Hmm.
Um, but things like Cleveland's saying, guys, and we're talking, things that you want to invest in, right? There's a lot of states right now that's legalizing marijuana, so yeah, it's a no brainer that you want to start investing in cannabis because it's starting to take off. So now you can look and say, hey, you know what? I'm legally in the weed game. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
like you want to say that, oh yeah, man, yeah, man, I got tons of weed stock. And this stuff's been going on for a while. These companies have been around.
Right.
So but you can legally say, hey, I'm invested in marijuana, and the FBI is not kicking down your door or none of that stuff. You can sleep good at night.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So these are the ones that you want to look at because this is the importance of educating yourself not only with stock, but also educating yourself of what goes on around you on your local and state level and on the presidential level of what's going on. So you know damn well if you get a Republican and as the president, they're not going to be decriminalization weed and all that good stuff, right? So the stock is going to dip, those type of things. They're not going to invest into clean energy. So it is what it is. It's going to go more towards coal. So, and Adrian would tell you every time an election happens, the stock market is going to fluctuate up or down because they're trying to bet on what's going on, right?
Hmm.
So, you, each president brings their own rules and sets of how they're going to change the market. So this is good to open your eyes up and get into ownership, especially if you're black. If you're black, this is how you get ownership. Do you know how it feels? I have stock in Nike. I didn't buy the stock because I thought it was bullish. It was nice. I bought it because I bought so many damn shoes of Nike that now I can truly say I'm an owner of Nike. And it just went up, which is a bonus. But it's good to say when you see people walking around with Nikes, I own a pair of that. I don't just own a pair of
That's
those
the
shoes. I own stock in that company.
that's the big thing too is ownership. You buy those Nikes out the store, you wear them. Guess what? They depreciate in value as soon as you hit the pavement with them. But the company itself, though, you know, think about it. You see people standing in line to buy the new Jordans and all these other styles of shoes or whatever. And if you're invested in Nike, you love that. Oh, the new Kobe's are coming out, or the
Love
new
it.
whatever. You're excited because you know that you're going to quite possibly see by you're going to see a profit on the other end. So.
Hmm. I
Hmm.
love it. And I didn't know this. Look, it's a sub to Converse. So if I see you with some Chuck Taylors on, I'm saluting you as well. You know, and that is how you have more ownership. You have more voice. It's not about more money in your pocket. It's more about ownership. Because ownership was taken away from us in this country. So now this is a good way to take it back. And I wanted to bring Adrian on because a lot of these tips, a lot of this, people ain't gonna tell you shit. It's kind of hard. I just learned
No,
this
for
when I'm,
sure.
I'm 29, 30. A person might be walking around with 200 shares of Apple. You wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't even know it.
True. Yep.
But if you seek those things and ask, what's going on, KT? So if you seek those things and you ask, I'm breaking it. We giving you a free lesson. I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna go back to this one right here. You got no excuse for this one. You really got no excuse to go on Robinhood. You got $9 in your pocket. What's the worst you're gonna lose? $9. You gonna play more money
$9. I
matches.
mean, I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off. I was gonna say just $9. I mean, you spend $9 on a number five at Wendy's. I mean,
Come on.
you know, I mean, shoot, you go, depending on where you go to Crystals or something like that, you have to put more taco. Most of these places now you got to put more money with it to even get a combo meal or something these days.
That's
So,
what I'm saying. Don't go to KFC. You
yeah,
spending $15 for a chicken leg.
yeah,
Like I don't want to hear it. There's no excuse. Now, if you want to talk about those $100, I'm not counting everybody pockets, but $9. If you got a job, you
yeah.
can ask your mom, you can ask your parent, ask your granny. You can ask for $9. It doesn't matter how old you are. I think you have to be 21 to buy stock. But if you're over this age, you should be in the game to buy a $9 stock, and it's already rising. And this is what we're talking about ownership. Come on, man, $9 you spend that on a money match playing Tekken. You spend that
There
on a
you go.
DLC character. So set aside $9. Go to Robinhood. Go to E Trade. Get you a brokerage account and start
See,
investing.
and honestly, Cleveland, that was it for me. When you look at the stock market and stuff like that, and you're sitting back and you're wondering like how do people have the means to do some of the stuff they do, or how are people maintaining and making it out here. But then when you start learning about stuff like the stock market and stuff like that, you start figuring it out. Like this is how people are doing this. You get in, you invest in these companies. I don't know. Let's say for some crazy reason, an emergency comes up in life. Maybe your car breaks down, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Your investments could actually kind of help bail you out. Um,
Exactly.
if you want to talk about building generational wealth, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna rack up all these stocks, I'm gonna rack up all these shares, and I want to be able to leave it to my kids when and give them something to have when they're adults.
Yeah.
And that
You
could be and you gifting those shares to your children. That could be a way to get them into the stock market because now you're giving them this money, so now they got to figure out, well, man, how did dad do this, or man, I want to keep it going, you know.
it's, everybody is not going to be
So
able to have their own business and it be successful. Adrian, you did all the above, but a lot of people are not going to be that lucky. A lot of people are not going to make a 600K job, but you can spend $9, and if it pops to $300, $400, you can get that to that kid, and that kid can be a millionaire. There's no excuse. This is what I'm saying. So let's say that $9. Let's say decriminalization of weed. Recreational marijuana is now legal in all 50 states. Okay? Let's say that thing jumps up to $700. All right? And you guys know math. Come on, y'all. 691. And you just went crazy. I'm gonna buy like 200 shares of stock. You brought that at 200. That profit. That's $138,000. That's $138,000. That's one stock. Let's say you did all. Let's say you did like 5 cannabis companies. Let's say you did four and they did about the same. That's 500K.
Yeah.
Because you brought it when it was at $9. You still making average amount of money, right? You still paying the bills, but you treated that like a bill. Instead of buying that $10 sack of some Reggie, you actually brought legal stocks of a cannabis company.
Yeah.
That's all
That's
I'm
it.
saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. So, Adrian is wrapping up, man. Is there anything else you want to tell the people, you know, what they should know?
I would just say that when it comes to investing in the stock market, there's money to be made, there's money to be lost. So you always just want to make sure you're being careful, researching, doing your due diligence. Um, just make sure that you have things in place to kind of help you safeguard your investments and your money. And when I say things in place, um, you know, just basically having like the Yahoo Finance app that we said earlier. Just make sure that you have stuff in place where you just keep an eye on these companies. And a safe rule of thumb too, until you get really comfortable with investing.
Mm-hmm.
And most financial advisors they recommend this as well. Is do not buy any stock under $5. So anything over $5, is normally considered safe. And most financial advisors won't let you make any investments in a company that is valued under $5. Now, the flip side of that is you get to get in with a company on the ground floor, but you still just want to keep an eye on them and make sure that they're being profitable and stuff like that. Um, but guys, at the end of the day, though, we all need to get out here. We all need to start learning this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no excuse. Oh, I don't have the money. You don't have the money, but you went and brought a new $300 pair of Jordans.
Yep.
That $300 could have put you in the game. We're talking about Apple. That could have got you a couple shares. Right there. So we just have to start prioritizing. We have to start prioritizing it and making it more of a priority. Um, for our financial, just financially, to just kind of help bring ourselves up, and then maybe you get good at it, get a good understanding of it. You can teach it to your children,
Right.
and have something to leave them as well.
Exactly. Because the number one thing of how to create generational wealth is being able to have ownership of something. So you
Hmm.
buying this stock, you own a part of that company. All right.
Hmm.
You get dividends. We didn't even talk about
That's it.
dividends. Hey, we didn't even talk about that. I woke up and got like $5 just for no reason. And I can just
Hmm.
go, I can put $4 to that. You see what I'm saying? It goes back into my
Yep.
account. I can put $4 more to it to buy another stock of Aurora or Chronos.
Hmm.
This is what we're talking about. It don't matter how many times these frivolous things that we buy, you're not gonna make money back from it. You're not gonna go to McDonald's
Yeah.
and they walk up to you and be like, "Oh shoot, here go an extra $5." That's never gonna happen. But with this, it can.
Yeah.
So we need to prioritize, like Adrian said, finance, generational wealth, but also ownership.
Yep. Yep.
And that's all I gotta say, man. Adrian, man, I thank you so much, man, for spending time, man. Talking to the people, man. I hope we reached out to somebody, man, and go out there and at least open up an account and then just going with the flow and reading up and researching. And Adrian, is there anything you would like to promote? Because I know you have, your group. But if somebody wants to reach out to you and ask you about the stock market, how can they reach out to you?
Of course, Adrian Gardner. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter as well. Um, I'll also just maybe drop some comments on this thread, and if just leave your contact info, and can also reach out to you that way too. At the end of the day, guys, we're a community, and each one teach one. So if there's anything that I can do, or to help you, and then you in turn help somebody else. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm available Facebook. Anything, I'll go on the chat and put my information in there. If anybody does, just want to talk or just swap ideas or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, guys, we're all learning this stuff, and we're all learning and growing together. So,
Okay.
anything we can do to help each other.
Okay, perfect. And what I did is I actually put the Discord in there. Guys, you can join that Discord. You can reach out to Adrian. You can reach out to me. I guess when Twitter takes my suspension away, you guys reach out to me at Cleveland, NOTTHE on Twitter. Also, you can reach out to me on Twitch. If I'm playing video games and you want to talk about a stock, I have no problem stopping the game, pausing it, whatever, and talking to you about it. So we want to make sure this platform is not just for gaming, but also for, learning something and making some money. So who the hell is going to say no to making money? So, but that's it, guys.
That's true.
Yeah, that's it. We got nothing else. If you guys want to reach out to us, just reach out to us on the Discord, and see you guys next time. Appreciate you, Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I'm gonna take a quick 20 or 30. I'll probably get on the game, but I hope you guys enjoy that. You learned something from it. And with that, peace.